Hey guys, welcome to the ST2K show. This is Ronmower, and this is this podcast is going to basically be an interview with Starsoldier 1.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm the Starsoldier one dude. Yeah, I got a day off here, and woohoo, I'm gonna do a podcast. Yeah,
Yeah, Starsoldier, I think this is your first podcast with us, right?
yep,
Yeah, and we try to get more people in it, but nobody else was able to meet with us tonight, and so plus it got postponed like 2 times before that, and other people couldn't.
yeah.
J-Man and We Guy couldn't make it, and Bear, I guess he just didn't want to be in it. I don't know, but so it's gonna be with me and Starsoldier, and so yeah, basically I'm just gonna ask Starsoldier some questions about YouTube and Jay, and what do you say, Jay? I'm not here. Shut up. And yeah, and so yeah, I'll go ahead and start with when did you get started on YouTube, and what made you want to really get started with doing video game reviews?
It was 2008. I was always watching like different reviewers online, like the Angry Video Game Nerd or the Angry Nintendo Nerd back then. Yeah, I was even watching guys like Your Name and Tree play Bogart, and I love their reviews, but I never done any myself because I was new to even making videos. I didn't like have a camera or nothing. I was just writing reviews on my website, videogames101.com, and other publications like Game and Target and all that. But I never got into the video game business, or at least game reviewing. And I really want to call it a business because YouTube, they were paying nobody back then. I remember people like the Angry Nintendo Nerd, they made nothing, even though they had like millions of hits on their videos.
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
So,
Sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, I was just gonna say the only reason I started making videos in the first place is just get my name out there, maybe advertise my website, and see. I didn't care how cheap the video looked because believe me, my first videos looked pretty cheap, but I just wanted to get started.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I that was how it was for me in 2007. I wanted to get like and we used to do like we kind of do right like we're doing right now, SC2K show and audio format and podcast format, and I mean back then 2004 we started first doing that stuff, and through audio files and upload the audio files on my web server at my school, and then in the MSN chat groups or SC2K forum, I would say, hey, click here to listen to the audio show. We'd talk about whatever video games and whatever, some random stuff. And then finally, like when YouTube was around, by 2006, 2007, I was like, hey, I wonder if I can start putting SC2K video shows online and put on YouTube. And apparently I thought I really wanted to do video game reviews after watching Armate 21's reviews the whole summer of '07. And
Yeah.
then I thought the only way to get your videos online was either a capture card off your television or a FireWire that you use from a camcorder and transfer to your VCR or somehow put on your computer, which is kind of old school style of doing it, I think. I don't know how many people really do that today. But and so yeah, I know what those humble beginnings are like. I really wanted to originally do it to get the I think notoriety for SC2K
Hmm.
and the website, and so yeah, I know exactly what those humble beginnings are. My first videos were terrible, and quality and audio wise, I mean our audio sounded like we were talking in the bathroom during the reviews because the audio, just the way it sounded, is just ridiculous. But and so in 2008 you got started. So other than who was it? Your Nature, you said, and who else inspired you?
Yeah, dudes I played Bogart, who's also Canadian, although I never met him before. I wish I'd have met him before, but I don't know, just influences like that, like people who do video reviews. Unfortunately, it was mostly negative reviews.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was kind of the odd thing about it, but at least they were talking about classic video games,
yeah,
which I'm a huge proponent of. I love playing the classics again, and I was still collecting at the time.
yeah,
I don't think I found all the Nintendo games in my personal collection, but I was still trying to find every NES game ever made, and figured, hey, why not do some YouTube research and see what I can find out there, what people talking about when it comes to old Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And there's tons of videos out there. Thankfully on YouTube, it's nice and easy to watch. Boom, you could sit down, pick up a drink or something, and watch some crazy people talking about Nintendo games and say, whoa, yeah, this game really blows, or I remember playing this as a kid and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, even though YouTube really gets on my nerves sometimes with their policies and changes and stuff, and it's an
Yeah.
awesome place to see a lot of videos of video game reviewers and let's players, and I mean it's real awesome. And so eventually, you started doing a collab reviews. I think I know you've been doing most of your little collab reviews with Jason Relaxation. I think you did one
Yes.
with your little nephew at one time. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay, so in 2008, there wasn't a lot of people talking about the TurboGrafx 16 system, so I figured that would be a cool way to get my start. And of course, the video sucked and all that. And when I jumped onto the two-player games, I wanted to see if I can get a friend or my cousin playing with me, so I can at least tell people what the two-player experience is all about. And yeah, that's where, my friends came into play.
All right.
Yeah,
So
Jason actually told me he used to have a TurboGrafx scene as a kid, and he wanted to play it again.
yeah.
Unfortunately, he's definitely not as experienced as I was in playing the games, and that's why he seems like a fish out of water when he's talking about certain titles.
Yeah. I remember to me, the famous review of Sonic the Hedgehog, where
Yes.
a game fell on top of Jay's head. So what exactly happened there?
Okay, he was leaning back, which he normally does, to get himself comfortable, and my collection was to the back of him. He's leaning back. The game started rattling a little bit, and the game Matzy 15, which is actually a pretty rare game, good thing he didn't wreck it or anything, landed right on his head.
Oh man. Yeah, you should really post that as a video response to this video, so that people can see or hear what we were talking about. You don't see it in the video, but
That
you hear it,
sucked,
and
yeah.
then when the Starsoldier put a NES cart fell on top of Jay's head. It was funny. It's like y'all were trying to move on with the commentary, and then Jay goes, "What was that that fell on my head?" Oh, it's hilarious. And it reminded me of
Yeah.
that time when I was a kid. It was me and former low budget review member Swindoll and his cousin. A chair broke. The chair is one of those chairs you spin around in and like springs on them or whatever, and it broke. And he spilled his Kool-Aid, dropped on the floor, and his Swindoll's pyramid X-Men collection. It was all the boxes were stacked in a pyramid, form, and then all of them start falling one by one. And when you think it's done falling, more stuff falls on his head, and so that kind of reminds me of that when that game fell on Jay's head, and so that sounded hilarious. That right there is probably my favorite part of the review. The game fell on Jay's head.
And that was in a part of a level where he was already getting pretty frustrated.
I
I
think he's in
think,
the bonus stage, was he?
yeah, the bonus stage where it's always rotated, and he had such a hard time getting past that area. Oh, and
Yeah.
then the card falls on his head.
Oh
It
yeah.
just make him look even more bad.
Oh man, good thing it wasn't on camera. It would have been funny, but good thing for him, it was not
Yeah.
on camera.
But we still got the audio at least.
Yeah. um.
I shouldn't be laughing at him because, he's going to be complaining about, but he always does that.
Yeah. What? So who else Who else has been in your reviews? Jay, your nephew, and anybody else?
Yeah, my nephew Breeze. Yeah, little guy, my little nephew, he's like 12 years old now, and he just happened to walk in one day. Hey, oh, what are you doing? Yeah, it's just a thing where I was just happened to be recording for a review called Ninja Warriors, and he just walked in and said, "Oh man, I better stop everything," and said, "Hey, can I be in it too?" Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just happened by accident. I
Okay.
don't plan any of this stuff out.
Yeah. Well, neither do we really on ST2K. It's kind of like 90% unscripted, off the top of our head review and commentary and whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why you're a part of the S2K because you're just as random as we are. And yeah, and so anybody else you've done reviews with?
Yeah. Also done reviews with my brother. Yeah. I grew up with a lot of these games with him. It was both of us that originally got into Nintendo when we were bratty little kids, thinking like 87 or something. We got the Nintendo Deluxe set, which was so cool. Getting that huge boss with Rob the Robot.
Yeah.
Man, that was so awesome.
Yeah, I never
We're
get.
just, oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I never got to get that because my dad said, "No, you can't have the robot, son. The robot's too dangerous." I'm like,
Well,
now, as a kid, I
I can
believed him.
understand them because it is actually a pretty dangerous device if you think about it.
I
Because
thought he was
if
just
you
making.
could, yeah,
Sorry, I was gonna say I thought he was just making it up because he didn't want to spend extra money to get it. When I was a kid, I believed him. Oh, okay, he's dangerous. But as I got older, I said, "No, I don't think it was dangerous. What are you talking about?"
well, I think the gyros themselves, if you not careful, they can actually spin too wildly and go flying across the room.
Oh,
Yeah, it can be actually pretty nasty health hazard, and I don't recommend it for younger children. Like older adults, I don't know. The robot is pretty damn useless, I would say. You
yeah,
can only play with two games. It's slow as hell.
I think it's
Yeah.
just a cool peripheral just to have
Oh yeah,
for the
definitely
NES at the
cool to.
time. I mean, in a way, it was kind of ahead of its time, along with the Power Glove. Even though the Power Glove
Yeah, but
failed.
just like the Power Glove, though, it was pretty useless for actually playing your games in the practical sense.
Yeah,
Where, the controller themselves, you just press something, boom, you're good to go.
yeah.
While the robot, you wait about 20 seconds, and they'll finally press a button and do something for you.
Huh.
Not fun.
Yeah. So around what time did you really? I mean, have you basically been hooked on to video games all your life? And can you tell us some memories that you may have played video games with your friends or your family, your cousins, whatever?
hmm Well, yeah, I think I was pretty much addicted to video games as soon as I saw, I think it was the television when I was growing up as a kid, say, whoa, this is so awesome. I think it was the game Star Strike where I believe they were flying down that cavern that kind of looked like the scene from Star Wars. You got to see the destruction of the planet Earth and all that. And it just looked so cool to me as a kid.
Yeah.
Man, they're able to put this in a playable format? Or I was, probably when I was a kid, whoa, colors, video game, awesome. I can play this. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even hear about it on television until like, man, I don't know, a few years ago. Because when I was a kid, I mean, I only knew of Atari, Sega Master System, and NES. Of my earliest memories of me playing video games and hearing about it was Atari. I think it's 2600, and Sega Master System, and then the NES. So I never played any in television games. I didn't hear about it till like maybe a few years ago when people talk about it on YouTube and stuff.
I think I'm a little bit older than you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm 34 years old now, so.
yeah. Well, I'm 31. I'm not far apart from you, J-Man. I think is 32. And so us three are probably the oldest members of S2K. I think we got Bear. Everybody else is pretty young. Um, so and so with Jay, when did Jay really start to get involved with doing collab reviews with you?
Yeah, I originally met Jay at a store called Microplay here on Aurelia, Ontario. Unfortunately, the place is closed down now. Yeah, he used to work there, sell video games and all that. And I was in there all the time because, I was interested in collecting again. And I don't know, since he lost his job there and he wasn't really doing too much at the time, I figured, hey, why don't you come over and stuff and we can do some reviews or something. And yeah, we started to get like in the swing of things, and he started to remember these games as a kid. Unfortunately, he also forgot a lot as a kid, so I had to remind him.
Yeah, and so Jay really got involved with you there with collab reviews. And I remember uh, a video where you and Jay got into a fight because you slapped his kid. Okay, well, not really. For those of you who don't know that, no, he didn't really slap Jay's kid. Jay didn't have a kid. But go ahead and explain that story. It's pretty hilarious.
Okay, so in the game Color Dinosaur, he wanted to do something different. So he said, why don't I pretend to be a little kid playing this game, because this game Color Dinosaur is supposed to be for kids. It's supposed to be a glorified coloring book in a sense. So, yeah, he did this little child voice and figured, all right, this is pretty lame. Why don't I just pretend I'm slapping the kid? Yeah. So I just took out my left hand and slapped it with my right hand and create a slap, and I pretended like I hit the kid, which I don't hit kids, by the way.
Yeah, I hope not.
I don't in real life. No, no. It's just something that's so extreme, so ridiculous, but in these internet reviews, you gotta be a little bit extreme if you want to get some attention.
Yeah, you gotta be ECW.
Yeah, you gotta go hardcore. You gotta go nuts. You gotta do lots of swearing. You gotta do lots of cussing. You gotta do some crazy action scenes where you're just knocking people out.
Yeah. And then after that, this led to a fight between you and Jay,
Yeah.
where it was, and for those of you who don't know, it wasn't a real fight, but it led to a video. They actually did two. Y'all did two fights, right? Two videos where y'all fought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy choreographing with Jay because he's a pretty big guy and he doesn't move around a lot, but he could still use his power to look pretty dominating against me.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that was pretty fun. You won the first one, then Jay won the second one. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any hope of a third fight in the future?
Yeah, we've been planning on it. Problem is, I've just been so busy as of late. I've been working at the casino where I work part-time at, and then on the weekends I do my 9 to 5 job where I run my flea market booth, where I
Yeah.
also sell video games.
Yeah, and Jay works with you there, right?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes he'll bring games over, he'll sell them, but I get a little cut of the cash because he doesn't pay the rent.
Okay.
I pay the rent.
Yeah. Okay. And but some of my favorite reviews I've seen you do, especially with you and Jay, and I really like the reviews where you and Jay are reviewing them, and I think you two, you kind of like the odd couple of YouTube. One's real energetic, and the other one's just real relaxed, don't talk much,
Yeah.
but you balance each other out, and when you guys argue, it's pretty hilarious. Especially the video game championship tournament you guys had was pretty awesome, and Jay
Oh, thank
getting
you.
mad, and yeah, and but the one I really enjoyed was the ECW Hardcore Revolution review for the Nintendo 64, which is a horrible wrestling game.
Definitely.
It shouldn't have the name ECW on it because it's not ECW in the sense that it's good, and it's not. That game really sucks, and you and Jay reviewing it, it's pretty good stuff right there. And so what? Yeah, what you two? You two are also big wrestling fans, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Whenever, Raw or SmackDown is on, I like to watch it.
Yeah. So how far back do you and Jay go in watching? Like, do you know the old school stuff, like maybe the '80s and the Four Horsemen, or just the '90s and DX and the NWO?
Well, I used to be a pretty big fan back in the early days in the 80s. Then I fell out of it. I don't know. Yeah, the 90s and all that, I didn't much care for wrestling back then. But when the Attitude Era came back in thinking like 2000, Stone Cold and The Rock, yeah, I figured this is pretty cool. And the wrestling, it didn't seem like fake or anything, even though I knew it was. it just seems so over the top the way they're doing these violent matches. Seeing Mick Foley versus The Undertaker and Hell in a Cell. Whoa, that was awesome.
Yeah, really. And so who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Oh, man, it's gotta be, I don't know, a toss up between like technical wrestler, maybe like I don't know, Eddie Guerrero or Bret Hart,
Yeah.
somebody like that.
You get
Somebody that can actually go in the ring. Not the tallest wrestler who only knows like a few moves. Definitely not John Cena, but a wrestler who can have a good match, knows lots of maneuvers, escapes, and tactical wrestling.
yeah. So who? So you would you give them 100 out of 100?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So what about Jay? Do you know about his wrestling interests and who he likes and stuff?
Well, yeah, Jason, I think one time, yeah, he actually wanted me to drive him to a wrestling pay-per-view event that was happening at a bar because he doesn't drive. I think, yeah. So he asked me one time, hey, can I come with you to this wrestling event? I don't know. I was a bit hesitant because I just know this guy from working this store, and I don't know if he's crazy or not. But but yeah, I eventually took him down there because I don't know. I was just watching it, I think, with a few other people, and figure I don't know. I'll bring Jay along and see what it's like. Yeah, we just hang out ever since then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And so the ECW Hardcore Revolution review.
Mhm.
What'd you guys think of that review in particular?
Well, we just played it for a little bit, and then we started doing the review. Man, there wasn't much to cover. Let's just say that because we already played a lot of Attitude, and it's pretty much the same game.
Yeah.
So, but it was even worse because the animation, it just didn't seem like the moves connected at all because we were just trying to throw punches, and none of the punches would ever hit.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh man.
thinking, what was it Claim doing? Because Attitude, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too great either, but at least it was a functional game. ECW Hardcore Revolution, it wasn't Revolution at all. It was pretty much just the error characters were taken out. We got these error new guys in here. We figured there's so much more that they can do with the ECW license since it was hardcore wrestling, no rules, no limits, all action, but then you play it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just a stripped down version of Attitude. Who cares?
Yeah, it was terrible. I remember Joey Styles, and I'm sure he was told to do this. He was hyping the game up so much on pay-per-views and on ECW on TNN, where he would be like, he would always say this: "Check out Acclaim's Hardcore Revolution, the video game." He had to keep on saying the video game every single time he mentioned the game. We know it's a video game. Just say ECW Hardcore Revolution. I was looking forward to it, but I had a feeling it was going to suck because, I mean, yeah, I liked Warzone and Attitude because at the time when those games came out, man, I was like, oh, awesome. You get to play a WWF wrestling game on the Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to play as Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was in his prime at the time. And you get to play as Kane. And, I mean, Undertaker, he's been in every wrestling WWF game since probably 1990. And so, I mean, you got, Stone Cold for the first time, Kane for the first time. And the other ones, I forgot who else is in there. I didn't care. I think Ken Shamrock was in there
Yeah.
the first time. But I think that was where Warzone made its debut, where you can create your own wrestler. I think that was the first wrestling game to
That
do
was
that.
so awesome.
Yeah.
Be able to edit moves, create your own characters, just mess around, and just create the biggest story you could possibly, create. It
Yeah,
was
that
awesome.
was
He gave
fun.
you such freedom.
Yeah, that was so fun. And then Attitude came out. It was like Warzone on steroids.
Yeah.
This time I think you get to create your own entrance, in which I created a pretty good create a wrestler, and it was freaking awesome. It was real fun to do. And then but at the time though, 99, I think, or 98 actually, I forgot. I think it's 97, 98 when WCW NWO World Tour was released for the N64. That game was pretty awesome. But then
Yeah.
Revenge came out in like the fall of 98, I believe.
Hmm.
WCW Revenge, that game, freaking, forget take the letters WCW off and put ECW Revenge. Because, man, that game was ECW. That game was awesome. And then,
Yeah.
so that THQ was where it was at. I mean, making wrestling games. And then Acclaim lost the license to make WWF video games, which is why they started making ECW games, I guess. And so the license now went to THQ, and they created WrestleMania for the N64. Oh no, WrestleMania 2000 for the N64.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome. And so then after that, I think, yeah, it was sometime after that, Hardcore Revolution came out. And by this time, it's like, in addition to the game being broken, I mean, we've already moved on to the next level of how wrestling games should be, in the style of THQ and what they're doing on N64. And so Hardcore Revolution came out. It was a letdown. It was anticlimactic. Yeah, it was ECW, but a lot of things, and this might not be Acclaim's fault. They probably couldn't afford the rights to it, but, they started coming out to generic entrance music, not the Inner Sandman music or
No.
Tommy Dreamer's Man in the Box, Alice in Chains music, and I guess they couldn't get the rights to it, so that might not be their fault, but still, that's no excuse for the gameplay. I mean, the gameplay was terrible. I mean, and yeah, you got to play as Raven, Tommy Dreamer, Sandman. I don't know about Rhino. I think Rhino maybe. And Whoopity Doo, you get to play as Joey Styles, Cyrus, I think, and Joel Gertner. Who cares? And
Give the Angel.
yeah, and Spanish. Yeah, they cannot call him Spanish Angel. And the commentary in those games are broken, like Spanish Angel did a drop kick, Spanish Angel with a headbutt, and it was like, and then
It was just so random sometimes.
yeah, and you got to play as RVD, which is pretty cool. But I mean, it's kind of a broken RVD in a way. I mean, and
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it has quite the hit detection as a good wrestling game should.
yeah, and I mean, you had and I forgot who else is in there. But then after that, they made ECW Anarchy Rules, which I never played, and I'm sure it's probably the same thing, basically.
It was the same thing, except you got a different roster.
Yeah. Yeah, and so and then after that, I think ECW went out of business, and
Yep.
then yeah, so but yeah, those I mean the wrestling games though, a lot of wrestling games are fun. Then it went to PS2, the SmackDown series, and then SmackDown versus Raw. Except I didn't like SmackDown 2, Know Your Role. That was kind of lame to me. But that which game was it where Michael Cole, like, oh my gosh, it sounded. It just sounded weird. And Taz, the arena is packed. Oh man, and but anyway, what were some of your favorite reviews you've done, whether by yourself or with Jay, on YouTube or Blip?
Okay. I think some of my early reviews were maybe like Bont's Adventure and Sinistron for TurboGrafx 16. I just love playing those games as a kid, and now having more of an analyst review of what breaks them down as a good game or as a bad game. Bont's Adventure, you had the cool thing where you're a cute little caveman, your head bun stuff. Like, that's just so unique about a game. Problem is, it's a bit too easy, but I also make it look easy too because I played it a lot as a kid, so I know everything that you could do to stay alive. So maybe the easy complaint isn't too valid now because I still think I know people that can't finish that game. Whereas Sinistron, yeah, and the cool thing about starting up a game like Sinistron, I always wanted to play that one again because I remember as a kid, I remember it being so hard. And maybe I can break it down a little bit better now that I'm more experienced as a game reviewer. So let's play it again and see if I can actually enjoy this game or, totally criticize it for being poorly designed. So I picked up Sinistron again, and whoa, is it way too hard for its own good. I'm thinking to myself, Okay, why didn't this game take off? I love the graphics, I love the music as a kid, and I want to play it again. But the game is just so poorly designed.
Hmm.
It's bad for all the wrong reasons, and it's hard for all the wrong reasons, I should say.
So was that?
And
I was gonna say, was that one of your favorite reviews you've done on YouTube?
I'd say so. Yeah, the graphics, I meant the video quality in it is not too great and all, but as a review itself, I'm pretty proud of it.
Okay. Any particular views that you're not proud of?
Maybe one where I go on a bit too off topic, maybe like the Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I think there was a bit of bad acting in that one where I barely talk about the game for like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a strange comedy sketch. Yeah, I looked back at that one and said, whoa, what was I thinking? But at that time, Irate Gamer was sort of doing that sort of stuff too, where he would do like a strange comedy bit for, I was pretty much making fun of his review where he was just doing these weird skits that weren't even funny.
Uh
I figure I would try something like that, and yeah, it's pretty bad to watch now.
huh.
As it is watching Irate Gamer's review, by the way.
So yeah, I remember. I think the first video I ever watched of you was in 2008, and I think you talked about Armake being suspended, or no, for Armake being suspended from YouTube,
Yes.
or his rant on Irate Gamer was taken down, and I think you or I don't forget what the video was about, but you had mentioned Irate Gamer something. I think it was about people being suspended or something for certain reviews, and I remember one part where you said, "Oh man, Irate Gamer," and you paused for a second. They did a quick cut and changed topics. It was pretty funny how that how it looked right there. It's like you went on a little rant about Irate Gamer, and then you said, "Irate Gamer," and he just looked down and then did a quick cut. Well, anyway, I got to go back and find out what video that was. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but you
I
were
think I know what you're talking about, yeah.
you were sitting in front of the camera, and I think you were pointing the camera at your computer screen, saying, "Ah, look at this, so and so suspended. What is up with this?" And then,
Yeah.
yeah, I know that was in 2008. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Armake was another reviewer I like to watch. He had some pretty funny reviews, but YouTube, it's such a funny business or funny place to be on because if you go too far or if you talk about the wrong person, boom, you could have your video taken down. And Irate Gamer back then was pretty powerful in a sense where he was a YouTube partner. I think he had like a lot of fake accounts. So he can pretty much ban anybody for flagging their videos or just by flagging the other person's videos and boom, they would be taken down.
Yeah.
So you gotta be very careful about what you say about this guy in Armade 21. I figure he was like speaking the truth and all that. The way Irate Gamers run his business, he's not funny. And unfortunately, his video got taken down and his whole channel got taken down.
Yeah. I remember a video game site or a video sharing site called GameV. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. No.
Okay, it was around, might have been 2009, where actually, yeah, I think it was 2008, actually, the same year that happened. Armate decided to upload a lot of his reviews onto GameV, and Spunkies, who was around, I don't know if he's still around anymore, since his channel got, I think, suspended. Spunkies, who was a big fan of Armate 21, was advertising GameV because he, along with a lot of people, were getting kind of tired of YouTube and their policies and suspending people and taking videos down and stuff. And so it was called GameV, VEE is how you spell V, GameV.com, where you can upload your video game reviews and Let's Plays and stuff. And from what I heard, I think the website was ran by friends of Irate Gamer. And so when they found out that Armake was uploading videos on the GameV, they just decided to shut the whole website down so that Armake couldn't upload his videos on there anymore. Now, that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. I take that with a grain of salt. I think Spunkies had said that, or No, Spunky's Anarchy Ballsick or Master Hand had told me that, I believe. But I don't know if all that is true or if I misunderstood what Master Hand was saying. But yeah, if that was true, then that's kind of extreme. I know like Armate 21 said bad things about Irate Gamer, and maybe Irate Gamer or his friends or whoever was running Game V, but that's pretty insane to where the website was shut down just because Irate Gamer's enemy or whoever was uploading his video game reviews on their site. And so yeah, I mean obviously I guess the heat between Irate Gamer and Armate 21 was pretty extreme.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. YouTube drama. I mean, I wish there
It's
was
the
no.
stupidest thing in the world, like all this drama.
It
Oh, I
really
hate
is. I mean, I
this
remember.
person because they make a particular review, or I hate this person because, I don't know, their friends are bashing my video. I
Yeah,
I think that's why I didn't post videos even sooner, like in 2007, because there was so much drama on YouTube in the early days. You couldn't edit comments, you couldn't delete certain videos. Once
yeah,
it was posted on YouTube, pretty much people can do whatever they wanted.
yeah,
They could say, I don't know, like there was so much spam on there. You can pretty much copy and paste anything you want. You could say anything racial. You could say anything over religious. Like people would just spam, I don't know, Christianity even.
yeah,
It was just nuts. You could be racist, sexist, could, I don't know, pretty much imitation for any the dredge of society to comment on video. And if it was popular, more, I don't know, weirdos would come to the site. And I think Irate Gamer is sort of weird because I think he was originally like a spammer or something. Then he got popular because he has a lot of good production values, but he's just not a particularly good reviewer because he just copies from Angry Nintendo Nerd and all that.
yeah.
And
Well, I don't think he was a complete rip-off of him. I mean, his style was similar yet different. But I loved Armate 21. I mean, he's the one that, even though my style of reviewing is a lot different from his, I really liked um, his videos. I mean,
yes,
especially during the time of my life where I was kind of having hard times, and YouTube was kind of an escape of reality. And so, man, his videos really kept me entertained, and they're freaking hilarious. It made me laugh so freaking loud. Just how he would bash the game, especially Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. That's how I discovered him.
that
Man, that game
was a
was
great review.
brutal, and that review was hilarious. That's how I got hooked onto him. I started clicking on his channel and saying, man, let's check out these other reviews, and I got hooked. And he's like the first person I think I subscribed to because at the time I only created the Ronmower account for just to post. I really want that. I think that's why I created the Ronmower account because I wasn't going to really use the channel for anything, just to post a comment. I
Yeah.
just wanted to post comments and rate videos and stuff. So that's why I created the Ronmower channel, and then I started to get into actually making reviews, which were god awful, and I should have kept them up just for the lulz to see how far I've gotten, and in reviews, and so then the Ronmower channel now became a full-fledged video channel, which 4 years later has almost 600 subscribers. That's pretty cool. So Army 21 really, I mean, really motivated me to just. I never talked to the guy. He didn't give me advice or anything, but I mean, he inspired me just by watching his videos. He was really entertaining. And I was like, man, I really want to do something like this because I've always liked video games. I've always wanted a job doing something in video games, but this is the closest I've ever gotten to, and it's pretty fun. And yeah, so Armake, I mean, he's pretty ECW, and so. Other than Armate 21, Urinating Tree, and other than that, any other favorites that really, uh, I guess you name some people you subscribe to that really entertain you on YouTube?
Well, first it's you guys, of course. I like your Let's Plays, and I like how you show the complete game, top to bottom, and, give your own personal comments on certain situations. Yeah, that's why I like to get involved in, like, the Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3 reviews, the
Yeah,
Turtles in Time.
Oh
Just
yeah.
seeing those games in action and talking about it again.
Ooh, why didn't you email me first?
Yeah, I'm sorry about Jay there. I don't know what's wrong with him.
I thought I'd be flattered that I would mention him. Oh well.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. The game is he's just a psycho sometimes.
So what
But
got you exactly hooked? How did you first discover us, the ST2K channel?
let's see. I think I noticed that you guys were commenting on some of my videos. Said, "Oh, cool. Who's this guy?" And yeah, I think we started talking a bit more. Yeah, I think you guys want me to be part of like a I don't know, review, but my equipment wasn't up to stuff. I didn't have Skype. I didn't have like a lot of programs. Like you gotta remember, a lot of my videos here are very ghetto. I just hold like a camera to my projector and boom, instant review.
Yeah, that's kind of how we do it. We use Cam Studio or whatever, Windows Movie Maker, and boom, and Skype.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
don't even have any emulators or stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to do the real thing too, but it's much easier to do with emulators and Cam Studio, and because I mean I don't. Plus now that I moved, our TV is downstairs, my computer is upstairs, and we don't have a capture card and all that mess, and it's so easy to record off the emulator
Hmm.
off your computer. It's so easy to get reviews done that way. I mean, I did do about maybe 2, 3 videos off my television that was me and Swindoll's Capcom versus SNK battle
Oh yeah.
on the Ronmower channel. Skip Rogers versus me, Ronmower, in a SmackDown versus Raw wrestling match. And um, the third one was the old SC2K show from 2008 Mega Man 6 review, which I had to use AES something video converter software, the free trial version, and it sucked because every 5 seconds the stupid watermark would flash on the screen saying,
Oh,
get the real version here. So I had to edit around the footage every 5 seconds to make sure that it didn't show up on a screen during the review because it would look stupid. And that really ticked me off. So it's so much easier just to do it this way on the emulator and ROM uh, and Cam Studio or Camtasia, Fraps, whatever you can get a hold of. And yeah, so it's so much easier to do it that way. But I mean, the way you do it though, Starsoldier, you still, I mean, your review and commentary still makes it lousy, especially Jay's participation. I mean, it's pretty cool. And I was like, you know what? I'd like to get this guy in on some S2K commentary.
oh yeah. Thanks.
Oh yeah, and Mario 3 one was pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah. And sorry, Jay didn't want to participate more, but I don't know. The guy, he likes doing reviews with me, but he also doesn't at the same time because he'll want to play a game just for like 2 minutes and say, "All right, done. Let's play something else." Dude, we're doing a review. Talk about the game. I'm done.
Oh man.
Just sort of thing. Like he gets depressed rather quickly, and it's great because he's the straight man to my crazy aunt. But man, he doesn't have a lot of input in these games usually, and I'm trying to get him to talk more. But that's why I like to do the reviews by myself because he just doesn't know how to do a review. Like he doesn't know how to break down graphics, music, sound effects,
Yeah.
gameplay, why a game can be broken in a sense compared to other video games out there. He's
Yeah.
just not a very good analysis, I would say.
Yeah.
He's more of a let's player.
Yeah. That's kind of why I am too, really. I mean, I did plan to do more ROMWare reviews, but I haven't done those since 2008. And yeah, low budget reviews is what we do every once in a while. It's kind of like your video, Star Soldier, where it's just kind of like a seemingly a let's play, but we give our final thoughts and rating at the end. And so yeah, that's how I'm mainly a let's player as well. And yeah, because I mean, it's to me it's more of course it's more easier just to do a let's play, you just record, and boom, that's it. With a review, you got to really edit it and chop it up, and or if you want to make it flashy, interest music at the beginning, or whatever, and credits at the end.
Yeah, and you also have to be very careful when you're saying the review because you gotta rate the game from top to bottom. You gotta make sure you give all your bullet points, or somebody's gonna catch you on something. Somebody's gonna say, "Oh, like in level 4, you can get this power up, and the game's a whole lot easier." Or
Yeah.
said, "Oh, the graphics are much better in this stage."
Yeah.
So if you don't go through all the particular bullet points of a game, people are gonna comment on you, and they're gonna like bump down your video because
Uh,
there's a lot of nuts out there.
yeah, there's a lot of butthurt fanboys out there. I really don't care. I had someone bash me on my Renegade review not too long ago, a few weeks ago, saying, "Stop! Wait a minute. You're saying this is better than this ain't better than Target Renegade, or Target Renegade's better, and this and that, and blah blah blah." Or my WrestleMania review, the same guy posted saying this game sucked back then, and blah, and all that stuff, and I don't care. I mean, I review games just give my opinion on them. I even said my Castlevania Bloodlines Ronmower review back in the summer of '08. I am not a professional video game reviewer. I just do this for fun, and even though I'm not a professional reviewer, I know a good game when I play it. This is my opinion, and I told the guy that in the comments, says my opinion. Because he goes, "What's wrong with you? You think this game sucks, Renegade?" Or I go, "There's nothing wrong with me. It's just my opinion." I mean, I don't
Yeah.
care to go through every bullet point or whatever. If I was getting paid by GameSpot, or if I was a YouTube partner that was getting paid to do professional reviews, like K-Wing, he's overly detailed in everything he reviews, and he gets paid to do that. Even before he was getting paid, he still did that. Now that's a professional reviewer. That's how he wants to do it. That's fine. But again, this is YouTube, and I'm not making a living doing this, so I'm not going to really bend over backwards to make a video
Yeah,
100% fully professional.
if somebody's just there to say, "Oh, I hate this video because so and so, you didn't mention this, you didn't mention that." Well, that's what comments are for, to go back and forth on certain issues. Like if you have like some that I didn't mention in a review, just leave a comment and maybe I'll respond to it. But if it's like a butthurt comment, "Oh, you suck, you're stupid and I don't like you. Your voice sounds so weird."
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, I get a lot of comments where I sound like Cheech or Chong because of my strange, I don't know, Mexican accent. But
Somebody said I sounded like Matt Hardy.
well, yeah, but you sound less drunk.
Yeah. Hey,
Well,
yo,
yeah,
this is Scott Hall.
yeah.
This is Scott Hall. Let's play Mega Man 2. I'm
Hey, yo.
the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Well, yeah. Anyways, I should say, if you get like comments and all that, this is to anybody out there that are just like overly offensive. Somebody is just trying to start a fight with you. Block them, delete them, get rid of them. But if you have people out there that are actually being critical or saying that you didn't mention this in the review and they're actually talking about the game itself, go ahead and reply.
Yeah.
And that's what comments are for, to talk about everything that you couldn't cover in the review because of time limits,
Yeah.
which, YouTube was pretty notorious for back in the day.
Yeah.
You can only post for like 11 minutes. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. And so I mean, yeah, and now for some reason this happened months ago. I did have unlimited time, but then for some reason they took it away. Now I'm at 15 minutes again, which I still don't understand. I don't have no strikes in my account. I don't remember doing anything to where because I don't think you can downgrade your own time or whatever. I mean, unless you get flagged or videos removed for strikes and copyright infringement, and I don't know, but the ST2K channel still has unlimited time. It's like, okay, I don't know, but anyway, so I'm at the point right now where I mentioned this before several times. I'm at the point where I kind of gave up on YouTube, but at the same time I haven't, because I still want to do videos for YouTube, especially my fan base, and I still have unfinished projects and upcoming projects I've already promised, like Mega Man 3 coming up on S2K. I'm still doing a Let's Play of Ocarina of Time, which has been running 1 year now. And so, yeah, I really don't want to just leave YouTube altogether, but at the same time, it's like, screw them and their crap, And, yeah, but anyway, so I think it's going to end on we're probably going to go ahead and close the podcast right here, but I want to ask you, So any other like, do you plan on doing any Shadowgate games in the future?
Yeah, I plan on doing some reviews on Shadow of the Gate, first the original, then I'll move on to the TurboGrafx 16 one, and then maybe the N64 one to finish it off because I have all three games here. I just
Oh man,
problem is I only remember finishing the first one.
why would you have Shadowgate 64 in your house?
Because I figured I wanted to review it because I loved the first one as a kid. I don't know why I hate Shadowgate 64 so much. So I gotta break it down why this game really pisses me off.
Oh man, it's brutal. And for those of you who are new to our channel, and you haven't seen it yet, check out Darth Gentu's Let's Play Shadowgate 64. Terrible game. Does not compare to the original Shadowgate at all. And I never played Beyond Shadowgate, but that one looks much more better, much more epic than Shadowgate 64. What a letdown. That game sucked. I'll be interested to see your opinion on all three games, especially the 64 version. And you probably should get Jay in on that one just to make him mad.
I don't think he'll have anything to say.
Yeah, really. Well, I mean, what can you say about the game? Really, it's going to be kind of hard to do commentary. Well, I know me and Gentoo, we got various people did it, but that's because it was for the lulz, and yeah, it was, man, terrible game. But any other games you have maybe on the horizon that you care to, I guess, kind of spoil, give a little teaser, spoil?
I want to do reviews on Sonic 3D Blast for Sega Genesis. I'm playing that one quite a bit, and I figure it'll be cool to check out and compared to the Air Sonic games because I think maybe Sonic 3D Blast is where it all started to go wrong for a Sonic series.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a good way to analyze where Sonic went from there and why this game has its problems.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I've also been playing some. I should say I've also been playing some other Sega Genesis games here.
Okay. I remember your Dark Castle review. That game sucks. That game's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
That part where you tripped over APG and DVD and you stood up and started spinning around. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, I figured that would have been a cool thing for the Angry Video Game Nerd to do, but yeah, the thing was he didn't cover that.
Yeah. You probably just want to get that review over with.
I'm sorry?
You probably just want to get that review over with.
Yeah.
I tell you a dream review I might want you and Jay to do together. I don't know if you guys have done it. It will probably be Plumbers Don't Wear Ties for the 3DO.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to do because neither of us have a 3DO.
That's a good thing.
None of us ever played that game as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm lucky or unlucky.
Oh, man.
Although the game is quite rare now, I think.
Yeah.
It might be difficult to get off YouTube.
Yeah.
I meant off eBay, I should say.
Yeah, I wonder how much money people are selling it for.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wonder if they have it at GameStop, local GameStop or Special Effects or mom and pop store here where I live at. That'd be hilarious. I probably would buy it for the lulz. But we already did a review of it on the ST2K, and I really don't want to do a review of it on the Ronmower channel. And anyway, all right, that is it for this podcast. Thank you very much, Starsoldier, for joining us. Sorry nobody else could be here and with their questions, but thank you very much for...
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Nobody's talking over one another because that's what happens sometimes when there's too many of us. Like, we guy will jump in and will say something. Hey, Ronmower, what? And then somebody else will say, oh, no, Ronmower, what do you think about this? And then I'll say, oh, yeah, baby, yeah, woo. And everybody's just talking over one another, just speaking all at once.
Yeah.
Here, it's just one-on-one, shoot interview, no holds barred, no limits. Yeah.
Yeah, except the Pamela time limit. Every 15 minutes we had to stop and start again.
Stupid whore.
Other than that, yeah. Other than that, I mean, awesome. ECW, thank you very much for being in this podcast. It's first ever podcast. Hopefully you'll be in a lot more if we have a lot more to come up. We didn't do hardly any podcast this year in 2011. That's because I think in 2009, 2010, we ran out of topics by 2011 of what to talk about. But hopefully you'll be in some more podcasts. I know we hopefully will be doing a 2011 year in review around New Year's. And so hopefully maybe you can be in that one and other people as well. So, yeah, thank you very much, Starsoldier, for joining us. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. And that is it. We're out of here. I'm Ronmower. God bless. Take care.